There are a variety of frameworks available from AWS and third parties to help you build and deploy serverless applications which can work with your developer toolchain. You really want to be using a framework to build your serverless apps and getting into the habit of starting with a framework rather than building things in the console. From AWS, there's a Serverless Application Model, or AWS SAM for short, which is an open source framework. You provide SAM with shorthand syntax to express functions, APIs, databases, state machines, and event sources for your environment. During deployment, SAM transforms and expands the SAM syntax into AWS CloudFormation syntax and deploys the resources to your AWS account. For example, just 20 lines of code can generate a number of resources which are linked together. This SAM template generates an API gateway endpoint connected to a Lambda function, which reads from a DynamoDB table with an associated IAM role. SAM also has a command line tool which provides a whole bunch of tooling to help you with fast local and cloud development. The SAM CLI also integrates with the AWS Cloud Development Kit, or CDK, and HashiCorp Terraform for local development and testing. You can use SAM init to bootstrap a serverless application from a number of quick start templates. There are a variety of use cases you can choose from, with samples in a number of languages. Here I'm picking Node.js using a zip archive function with a simple Hello World application. SAM init creates a folder structure containing the SAM template and configuration for your Lambda function. The SAM build command then builds the application. It processes your SAM template file, application code, and imports dependencies using your language package manager. You can then use SAM local invoke to test your application locally. SAM runs your function in a local Docker emulator and outputs, in this example, Hello World. You can then deploy your application to the cloud using SAM deploy. You first run it in guided mode, which allows you to specify parameters for deployment, and you can save your settings in a configuration file. SAM uploads the function package and creates a CloudFormation change set which deploys your application as a stack. Any subsequent deploys only update the resources that have changed. Once deployed, SAM displays the CloudFormation outputs you specify. This application has an API gateway endpoint, which I can curl, which runs the deployed function in the cloud and outputs the response, which is the same Hello World from the previous local test. I can also use SAM logs to retrieve the logs from CloudWatch logs. These include Lambda service logs, as well as any custom logging I had in my function. I can also use SAM delete to delete the CloudFormation stack, which removes all the resources. SAM also has two other useful capabilities. SAM Accelerate allows you to speed up the time it takes to see your local changes in the cloud for testing and validation. SAM Sync does an initial deploy and then waits for any changes. When you update your code, it only rebuilds what has changed and then uploads your code directly to the Lambda service rather than having to wait for a full CloudFormation deploy. This means you can test your functions in the cloud at the speed of local development. SAM Pipelines makes it easier to create secure pipelines for your CI/CD systems. It creates the AWS resources and permissions required to deploy application artifacts from your code repository into your AWS environments. You can also use the Serverless Patterns collection on serverlessland.com, which has hundreds of infrastructure as code templates across a number of frameworks and programming languages. There may be an existing pattern already, which you can copy and use in your own applications.